All right, guys, we're about to talk about another topic today for Mindset Monday. I just had to fix my hair. You know how to fix the hair, y'all. All right, so we're gonna just have another live for our Mindset Monday talk, guys. Make sure that you like the lives. Make sure that you show love. I'll be putting out goals up here. You know what? I'm gonna pin my subscriptions. Yeah, let's get some subscribers in here. And, the more subscribers I have, the more, enthused I am about going live to my subscribers. So there are some things that I love sharing with you guys. And for Mindset Monday, this Monday, we're going to talk about, really the concept of not having to wait for permission. Okay. And this is really important because there are some instances in life where we feel like we need other people's permission and we don't. Life is so fleeting and it's just so short. And so if we remember, we talk about purpose here. Hey, Nisa, welcome. We talked about purpose here a while back. And I really like the fact that we get to identify our purpose and then decide on where we need to go in life for ourselves, not for what other people have told us to be or do. But we've decided this is the route that I want to take, and this is where God has me going. I think it's so important when you get into that understanding of freedom for your own life, because that's what that is. It's freedom. You actually breaking away from people who have put you in a box. And when you get to that place, you have to stop waiting for permission. You have to stop waiting for permission. And too many opportunities will pass you by if you wait for someone to give you a go, or if you wait for someone to tell you it's okay to do. I'll give you guys a couple examples because we're going to go through, just a quick review of Mindset Monday. We're going to do some mindset shifts today. But I want you to think about this, right? When it comes down to, our lives, how many times do we actually think about doing something and then we stop ourselves from doing it because we're like, I don't know, should I? I don't know if that's going to be the right thing to do. Right? Or is that allowed? I've even had people ask me for their social media accounts, right? They're like, I want to do this and I want to do that. But is that okay? Like, am I okay doing that? And I'm like, you tell me. Are you okay doing that on your social media? Are you okay doing that in your business? Are you okay taking the leap of faith on your own self every single day and giving yourself permission to do the things that you want to do, things that you desire? Right? Things that you love. And it's not just about fun things, right? It's about hard things. But guys, make sure you share this live because there's some people out there that need to hear this. It's not just about the fun things. It's about the things that are going to get you to your place where, God already has ordained you, but also where you desire. There's so much in life that we want, right? But then we have to actually take these steps and give ourselves permission to do that in order to get to that ultimate desire. Now, I love the conversation. Hey. I see you, Nisa. I'll get to you in a moment. We'll go through introductions in a second. But y'all listen, we have to stop waiting for permission. Thank you for the art, honey. Thank you so much, Nisa. We have to stop waiting for permission because people will keep us stagnant just so we won't rise above them. And so we're waiting for someone to tell us, hey, go start that business. If you're waiting for someone to tell you, hey, it's okay to go back to school. If you're waiting on someone to tell you, hey, it's okay to have that relationship, it's okay to be with that person, it's okay to take time for your whatever it is, guys, like it's okay for you to give yourself permission. Like a lot of times no one is going to validate you, right? I love the Mel Robbins saying when she said no one is coming. Have y'all ever heard that? No one is coming. I mean, God is always with us, but no one is coming. Like no physical body person is just going to drop in your space and say, hey, I think you should do that, and then support you. No, it's not going to happen. Most people have great ideas, but they're not going to really be there to give you the permission to walk through that journey. Like they'll tell you to start it, right? But then who's going to continue to give permission, right? You have to do that for yourself. So too many entrepreneurs, right? Like they keep their brilliance on the shelf because they're waiting for someone. It could be like a partner, a friend, right? Because sometimes we're in relationships, and that means the people that we're with intimately, and the people that we're connected to with our family and our friends, right? These relationships, we're like, sometimes we're waiting for someone in our relationship to tell us, now's the time. You should go do it. And guess what, y'all? Nobody's going to do that. People are too worried about their own lives to think about what your next step is going to be. So here's the truth. No one is going to give you permission to step into your greatness. Not everyone will understand your vision, and they don't need to. Okay? Not everyone will clap for you, and they're not supposed to. Okay? And not everyone will believe that it's possible, and that's why it's your dream and not theirs. If it was their dream, they would just jump on board with you and say, hey, let's go. But for anyone who has a resistance against the things that you dream and you desire, they're not for you. So let them catch the next boat. And so the mindset shift today is basically asking yourself, right? Instead of asking yourself, is it okay if I, right? I hear a lot with, possible clients when they come to my discovery call and is it okay if, and I'm like, you tell me, is it okay, right? It's not about, is it okay? It's about, what do you desire? So instead of saying, is it okay if, start saying, this is what I'm doing, and here's how I'm going to make it happen. Period. Nisa, I'm going to stop there because I'm not going to deep dive. I just want people to get to know, who's in my space. Nisa here is amazing at what she does, and just basically let them know what you do, and then also comment on anything that comes up for you, if you're able to speak.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was over here tapping and welcoming everybody in. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is a great space to be in to learn and grow. I am Nisa Shepherd, CEO and founder of Miracle Moments LLC. And Miracle Moments LLC is based off my life, where I experienced my first miracle at birth with my esophagus and my stomach not connected. Helping other individuals discover their miracle moment as well, either in their personal life or in their business. And I do that through notarization. I am a North Carolina notary, PowerPoint presentations, graphics, logos, business cards, flyers, and so much more. So you guys can connect with me here on TikTok or at Lord, I drew a blank. Facebook at Miracle Moments LLC. That's MIRAKUL Moments LLC on Facebook. And join the community, because every moment in life is your miracle moment. And let's get that vision out your head and create a whole miracle moment together. Thank you so much, Dr. Allegra. Oh, I'm supposed to say something else, right?
Well, if anything came up for you, you can definitely comment.
You were talking about the piece about being an entrepreneur. You were talking about that, and then you were also talking about like when people ask you for permission, like in different sessions, is it okay? And then like permission, as you were saying that, I know I do that I probably do that a lot, because I'm like, well, it's just that fact of having it in your brain and then talking it out. And I know at times we don't need permission. We just have to act. We just need to do it and stop procrastinating, thinking like, is this a good thing? Is this, should I do that? Should I not do that? When actuality is something that we desire to do, but if when we do that, I feel like we're talking ourselves out of it. And procrastinating getting something done. So you brought out something really good, and that's a whole validation piece, trying to find validation in from other people when we just need to look at ourselves and get validation from within.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing, Nisa. You're one of the most transparent individuals that I know. I think it's so important for people to know, like, this is not just a thing that happens to someone who's not accomplished or, a high achiever. Like the high achieving individuals, we're the ones that have the most problems, y'all. Like, we're the ones. And so, just being able to look at that, right? Because truthfully, yes, having someone in your corner, right? Accountability partner, a coach, a mentor, someone to guide you, and you to have a safe space to ask those questions. I love that, because now you get to actually own, right, in that space where you feel uncertain, where you feel uncomfortable, and that's just a safe space. But when it comes down to this question of, do you need permission? The truth is you don't ever need permission. I don't care who you're around. Like, it could be in your family. It could be in your friendships. It could be in your business. You do not need permission. And the reason why we say this is because this type of energy, right? When you move with that type of energy, opportunities will pass you by, right? So if you want to go from is it okay if to hey, here's what I'm doing and here's how I'm going to make it happen, you no longer miss the opportunities because you're creating them outside of the things that you're attracting. So it's really important to change the narrative, right? It's not even about because we don't know what we don't know. So this is why we have a mindset shift, because if we're in our business wondering if we need permission, the truth is you do not. You give yourself permission by getting in spaces where you can get someone, like you said, Nisa, to agree with you. When, like, for example, Nisa, if we're in a session and we're talking and you're like, hey, I want to do A, B, and C. This is really where I'm stuck at and I'm a little confused on how to do something. That's one thing. We're learning. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about that you can do it. And sure, if you're able or capable to do it, because anything that is in the world is available to you. So if someone says, should I start the business now? I don't know. Should you? Now, the different question would be, is this time the right time for me to start my business, right? Like, nobody needs to give you permission to start the business and when. You just need to know for yourself, like, when that calculated risk needs to take place. And the truth is sometimes we're not looking at the narrative of how we're saying things. Like, we're asking permission of what to do with our businesses instead of asking when, why, how, who, right? Like, when do you want to start the business? What's the best time to start the business for your audience that you're looking to attract, right? How do you take those steps? Right? How do you get the information to start the business? Like, those are real questions that come up in a place of confidence where you understand that no one's coming. So you have to figure out where your direction is. But you don't need permission. You could start the business today. You can start the business tomorrow. Like, you are the person that decides when those things happen. And the reason why I think this is important is because when you get these opportunities and you start saying, hey, I'm not going to ask you, is it okay if I do this? I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do, period, and how I'm going to make it happen. And this is the thing. That part is where you start saying, oh, I may need somebody to guide me in this direction because I don't know how to make it happen. So let me find the person that's going to help me make it happen, not the person that's going to give me permission. You don't need permission. And here's another part of it is really interesting, because you got to just take one action. And this is going to be y'all challenge. This is going to be a short Mindset Monday, guys, because I'm spending time with Nana today and we're having fun. I just want you guys to walk away with an intention, a real intention about your life and your business. This is not just one way. Like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll let her know you said, hey, nice. So take action, big or small, that moves your idea, your dream, your goal forward without waiting for approval. Then own it. Like, I've actually been in a space, guys, where I have been the person to say, oh, well, I'm going to wait until it's the right time. And I had to ask myself, what is the right time? Is it when other people's lives get in line with what I think it should match up with? Or is it when I just say, I'm going to start today? And I decided that it was when I decided to say, I'm going to start today. I'm going to do what I desire to do. And then whoever else fell in line with that, that's just what happened. Who else didn't? They just kind of fell off. So making the decision, guys, to say, I'm going to move forward with giving myself permission to do what I said I was going to do, regardless of what other people are doing around me, what they're doing for me, you know, how they fit in my life, regardless. Guys, give yourself the permission and make that small one action step. One action step. And another thing is that we talked about this last time when Nisa brought it home for us. She said, listen, she was like, you know, it's about authenticity, because when you show up as your true self, it really does give you a competitive edge. So we got to look at this and say, you know, you're not here to blend in. So if you wait for someone to give you permission, and I'm not saying this is everyone, because there are some people out there just killing the game. Like, they're just out there doing things every single day. They don't care about what anybody says. They don't care about how it looks. You know, they're not worried about, you know, people's opinions and all that stuff. They don't care. They're just every single day giving themselves permission to do the very thing that they said they were going to do. And that means that they're not backing down from what they said they was going to do, right? Because when you give yourself permission to do something, you move forward, baby. You got to keep it going. Oh, okay. Miracle Moments lit up. Donuts in the... Baby, yes. Thank you, girl. So one thing I just love, and we're going to just move on with intention, because I do have a question. And I want Nisa to chime in for this. Because, guys, listen, it's a trap when it comes to being externally validated. It's a trap. And I do not want you guys to get caught up in that trap when you have such a large mission and a purpose in life, right? Having a business means that you can touch lives around the world if you want to. So getting that external validation is not necessary. One of the biggest silent killers of dreams is not fear. It's not fear. One of the biggest silent killers of dreams is not fear. It's waiting for permission. I mean, I did it for a long time, and I'll give y'all one big example. You know, when I was very young and I wanted to have the business at a young age, and I remember talking to my parents about it, and they were like, no, you got to have a career, and you have to have these. And I was like, well, you know, I don't know. It wasn't until I got a mentor that had a business that was doing good and doing well, and she was like, yeah, you can start the business. I was like, yeah, I can start the business. And so having that person validate that gave me permission, but I didn't need external validation. If that person wasn't there for me, I would still be doing whatever someone else, you know, proposed, and not really giving myself permission to move forward. So I'm telling you guys, don't get caught in that. There's just too many people caught in that. Someone told them that, you know, hey, you got to do this first. You got to do that first. They never gave you permission to start the business, or, you know, to get the main career that you want. There's just so much to this, and we don't always notice it, but it hides in polite phrases like, listen, hear me out. I just need to check in with. I've had so many people on my assessments and discovery calls that they come in and they say, I need all this help. This is what I need. This is what I'm going through. Mostly wives. And then they go, oh, well, before I move forward, you know, I need to check in with my husband. And that's okay. There's nothing, ain't nobody knocking that. But you don't need permission when it comes to your own dream. And I know, like, finances, you know, sharing finances in marriage, you have to check and make sure that there's, you know, enough money there. But here's another thing, right? Outside of just, saying, hey, he's going to give me the money or they're going to provide that. Guess what? There are other ways to get money. You don't have to lean on your husband to get money. FYI. And I recommend you not leaning on your husband. So you don't need to check in with anybody when it comes to your dreams. Another phrase that is very polite that people say when they feel like they need permission is, well, I'll start when I get the website, or I'll start when I get the money, or I'll start when I get the resources, or I'll start when I get the staff, or I don't know. But you start when you know you are feeling like you need to start, right? And all the waiting periods usually come where there's a level of certainty. So if you're saying I'll start when, most of the time there's no business plan in place. So what is the when? The when, it doesn't have a date. So that I'll start when is a silent dream killer, y'all. And the last one is I'm not ready yet. You're always ready. Do y'all know that every single time I speak to someone that has a business idea, and especially if it matches with like their experience for the last like job they worked at, and I always ask them, they're like, well, I'm not ready for that. I'm like, why not? And they cannot ever really give me good reasons. It's just the way that they feel. And I want to give you guys some real truth here is that you are always ready. Because anytime that you make a mistake or you don't do it well, you're going to learn something. You're always ready. And the fact that we don't think that we're ready is because somewhere along the way, someone told us that we didn't have something or the right tools in our toolbox to accomplish whatever we said we wanted to do. But they're not us. So that's why you have to give yourself permission to do it anyway, even when you're not sure. Even when you're not sure of what that's going to look like in the end, right? If you're a believer, trust God. Like, be able to put yourself in a position where you're not just guessing about what it is that life is going to look like, that you're demanding life to come your way and to line up with what you said it was going to look like. Give yourself permission. That's not, I didn't have a lot of crazy stuff for you guys today, but Nisa, I want to ask you a question. Is there anything that comes up that makes you feel like, yeah, we might need to give ourselves more permission in this area?
Yeah. Oh Lord, that's like a heavy question.
It could be business. It could be like starting the business. It could be starting the family. It could be going to school. It could be, I'm telling y'all, like it's just sometimes we're waiting for someone to say it's okay to do that, or wait, or put it like this, Nisa, or waiting for something. It could even be waiting for God, right? I hear people all the time, like, I'm just waiting on God. I'm like,
when you mentioned that, so I feel like so much came up for me as it pertains to the business, starting the business, taking that leap of faith, like, okay, was I really looking for validation, or did I already know what I know I needed to do, and I was just seeing what other people thought? So in that aspect, that is what came up for me, because I know I was wrestling with that for a long time. But like you were saying, it's the when, the how, and I think you said the why or something. I think that's what you said.
how?
Yeah, so in business, it's gonna be a lot, but you have to know, like, don't doubt yourself. The doubt is gonna come. You just have to know how to combat that with keep pushing, keep praying, and knowing, like, if it's a thought, it's definitely something you've been wanting to do. So go ahead and, like, you don't need validation from other people. Just look within yourself. So that's very powerful. And I thought about something else too, because you said a lot and it was really good. Lord, I should have wrote it down. But you've been saying a lot of good stuff that I was like, oh yeah, this is really like on point. And it's just the whole point about validation is a real thing. Like we as people, we have this idea, we know what we want to do, but we're seeking validation from other people to say, like, it's okay to do that. It's okay to go here. It's okay to start your business. It's okay to move. It's okay to have a new beginning. It's okay. But like you said, of course we can pray about it and things like that. We just need to, I guess, say, like, don't really look for validation from other people, because to be honest, they could be looking for validation from you, and you're just like literally like, so basically we're both looking for validation within each other because we're not clear, or we're not certain about where our next. So this is a good topic and what you have going on. So thank you.
Yeah, because what it's saying is I don't believe I can move until someone else says I'm allowed to.
That's very powerful. That is true. Oh, girl. Yeah.
And it could be so many different ways, right? I remember, and here's the difference. The difference between, seeking that validation opposed to seeking confirmation. That's two different things. Like, if you are seeking confirmation, then that means that you've already said, I'm going to validate my own idea and I'm going to move forward. So you've already moved forward. You've already taken steps. You've already said, hey, I'm going to start the business, even though I don't know where the money's going to come from, even though I don't know where the clients are going to come from, even though I don't really have a full visual of what it looks like. I'm just going to start writing it down.
Yeah. And then you were talking about the employee aspect too. So it's like you can't wait for things to be perfect. You can't wait to have, like, all this big money, or people to come to, like, support you. Sometimes, you won't get the support that you think you were going to get. But start anyways. Keep pushing, keep going, don't stop, because when people see you keep going, keep showing up for yourselves, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we see you, and it will make them want to come to support. So, I just say to that part, like, for example, I don't have any employees. I have a mentee, but I have, a good support system. Um, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop what I'm, the business or anything like that. It just helped me to even push even further to, what I desire. So, yeah, just start where you are. And sometimes we don't always have it figured out. And even if we think we have it figured out, there's some things that's still going to need restructure as we move along in the business. And that goes to any other aspect of our lives as well.
That's very powerful. I love that. And the reason why we do have to move, y'all. We got to move like a boss. We have to move like a boss. In school, guys, we are told to raise our hand before we speak. At work, we had to wait for assignments before we could actually lead. Like, you had to be told what to do. Like, in relationships, we actually look for approval before making changes. So we're not actually conditioned to just give ourselves permission. Like, in this world, we are actually brainwashed to receive validation, external validation, right? And there's so many levels to that. That's why this is a mindset shift. Because our way of thinking naturally is not this. Our way of thinking naturally is, I'm going to wait for someone to tell me what to do, and then I will do that. When you have a mindset, that means that you're going to move according to your purpose, and that's in your life and in your business. That means that you no longer wait for that permission externally. Now, you as the boss, the CEO of your life, of your family, of your household, of your business, right? You're now taking the reins and you're controlling everything. So it all trickles down from you. So if you don't give yourself permission, no one else can move. Your staff can't move, family can't move. Like, giving yourself permission, especially when no one can give you permission really like you can. So when you're in your business, you have to be able to give yourself permission a lot more than when you were at a job or in school or in previous relationships. This is a mind shift. And I'm gonna tell you why permission seeking does hurt the growth. And some people may be like, I don't seek permission. I'm gonna tell you guys, this is a mind shift. So really dig in, because seeking permission sometimes doesn't look like the surface layer of what we're saying. Sometimes it can look like, I said I was going to start that idea. I had an idea. I said I was going to do it, but I didn't do it. And now it's weeks later. And now you see someone else on social media or online, and they're doing something very similar to what you were supposed to give yourself permission to do then. But now you feel like because you see someone else out there with someone similar to you, or the idea that you have, now you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can do it. It can look something as subtle as that. It can it can look as subtle as, now, someone else in your family is doing it and you already thought about doing it, but now you see them and you're like, oh, maybe I can do it too now. And not to say that it's okay. It's okay to actually follow a good example. But what I'm also saying is you don't need to wait for that. Nisa, I want to hear from you about that, because I think that there are so many subtle ways that we can look for permission, right? And I think I need to pull that up. Like subtle ways. We might need to make this a part of next week's live stream, because I've just been in here. I've been there. And I've been the one that didn't know I was looking for permission until I was, doing it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I could have been doing this. This is not as hard as I thought it was. But yeah, while I look up some subtle ways that this can show up, Nisa, I would love to hear if anything else came up for you when it comes down to that, because I'm going to give you guys why this is so dangerous. And I want you to really hear where you can kind of take these mind shifts. So stay tuned. But Nisa, can you drop any knowledge in the live stream that came?
Actually, you know what? To be quite honest with you, I feel like this is an area where I am still working through. I'm not where I would look, because oftentimes I feel like I'm I wouldn't say I'm always looking for validation, but I feel like, well, what will this person think? Well, what if I do this? Is this something I
Okay,
can
let's
even
go
do?
there. Let's
But
go there.
I'm like really actively working through this and trying to combat those thoughts with, you know what, I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength. So I can do this. Why do I think that I cannot do it? I can do this because you know what? And it takes me back to where I used to tell my nieces all the time, and I still tell nieces, nephews, and I know one niece, when she will get on the bus, I'll drive by every morning and tell her affirmations, give her like, you're love, you're more than enough. Hey Lena, thank you for coming in. Drop your daily heart, me sis. And I would say, you know what? You can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. So every time I think about that and I say it, and I'm like, but I'm sitting here doubting myself. I'm sitting here looking for validation in other people when just tap the plus symbol and you can do that. And I'm like, you know, and like I was like, and I'm sitting here like, well, if I'm telling other people that, then why can't I believe it for myself? You know what I'm saying? So I'm actively working through this one because I just feel like I'm not there yet, but I know with actively putting it into practice, I will get to where I'm not really looking as much for validation from other people. So this is one point that I did want to bring up, where we're not looking for validation, but we're looking, but what we can say to them is, this is what I'm doing, and this is how you can support me if you choose to do so.
Okay, y'all. So, and thank you, Lena. Appreciate the heart me. She said, girl, clock it. Okay.
My Nancy Pooh, she's so sweet.
Here's what I want to bring up too, because Nisa, you're being so transparent. I love that about you, because most people don't want to actually release this type of energy of just being honest about where they are. So this is an encouragement to people who may be in a space where they're like, yeah, I am kind of struggling with that. Subtle ways that we look for permission, y'all. And like I said, it's something that we literally have been taught. We've been taught all our lives how to seek permission from others in our schooling, in our family settings, in our relationships, period. So when we come out into the world and we start making decisions on like, okay, I want to start the business, let me give myself permission to do that. It doesn't naturally just come up to just go, oh, I'm just going to go do it. Most times people hesitate because it could be from anything from starting the business to, starting a new marketing strategy on social media to starting, to do emails and sending out emails to people. There's so much discomfort around, the reach out or the reachability when normally we're the ones that are just taking in information. So subtle ways that we look for permission, like Nice is talking about, and we don't even catch. And if you're in a learning space, and this is why I say great job, Nisa, because you're in a space where you're aware. Being aware is number one. So if you're not aware that you're in this space, then that's where we want to get you. Once you're aware, then you start to look at where you can take action, right? And so subtle ways can be number one, like even though we're just being careful, over explaining your decisions. You tell your whole backstory before you share your choice, hoping people will agree and approve. Have y'all ever, oh my God, yes, did that come up?
Yes, I've done that more than once. And I'm like, even though I know I don't owe anybody an explanation, something in me is like, oh, just explain. And, I really don't owe anybody no explanation for it. Yeah. So that
That's a subtle way of looking for permission, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you my whole backstory just to get you to agree. And so I don't need you to agree, baby. If you're not in alignment with this, then we just can't be together. So over explaining your decisions just to get the approval is one way, one subtle way, right?